The Doom Raids, they still suck. How good is this new X-Men team? And are we at the point yet in Marvel Strike Force where we need to start using the word boycott? There's a lot of heat in the community, and I'm talking about that and a lot more with my brother Remanx on your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. And if you're ready for all of that, Remanx, tell him what to do, my brother.
Let's fix it.
ValleyFlyin.
Oh, what is up, Valley Maniacs? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. We do this every week. This week, I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, this guy right there with those awesome hot pink shades. There you are. Brother Remanx, how have you been, my friend? Are you doing well?
Doing well, man. Excited about some stuff we're going to go over this week.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, a lot of heat. But without further ado, Remanx, you had an awesome stream very recently, and you got honored in the game in Marvel Strike Force, immortalized in Marvel Strike Force. How awesome do you feel right now, my friend?
I told Yags I didn't deserve it, and especially with the things that he did for the community. It was his way of making. And having keeping me in on a joke and celebrating my channel, which he feels like helps him connect to the community. So, just thank you, Yags.
Yes, and he did a good thing here as well. Now, I do not want to gloss over this awesome stream that I saw last night, and this guy right here. It looks like the villain from Gem and the Holograms back in the 80s, guys. This is an awesome character. But Yags, he used the name Watch Remanx Shake, and obviously it was supposed to be Remanx Twerks on Twitch, and or is it Twerk or Tweaks? Twerks.
Yeah.
Twerks on Twitch. All right, here it comes though, guys. You're wondering, when is this gonna happen? And twerking and the shaking it. I love it, my friend. You look awesome. This is awesome cosplay. What prompted this? Yags has a lot of fun. I think people don't realize how much fun Yags is. So yes, and look at that! Look at the twerking on Twitch. I love it. So guys, it's gonna say Remanx shakes it in the game, but it's supposed to be Remanx Twerks on Twitch. All right, but moving on. That is awesome. I love this cosplay, brother. Iceman, he had a double blitz shortly after the weekly news update was released last week, and so some people got up to 21 Iceman shards for free in their account. Still no word on this yet. Still no word on compensation for this. I think it needs to be at least 21 Iceman shards. Giving that out to an in-proportionate number of the community seems very, very generous for a 100 shard unlock, and it seems very doesn't feel good for the community that was not on at reset for this Iceman Blitz. Were you online when this Blitz went active, and were you able to get some shards?
No, and that's the thing is so there's some people that are giving an advantage, and regardless, you can't just base it around that window when there might be a screw up and always hop online.
Yeah.
So I think they need to address it in a way that they meter out compensations. They don't want to give extra to people who already benefited. And I don't think it's an easy solution. They have to kind of look at the account timing and see what people got in that time period, because some people who tried to take advantage of it didn't get the full 21. So there's a wide variety of issues there that I don't think it's something they can wave their magic wand, send us 21 shards and move on.
Do you think that's why the compensation is taking so long though? Some people got the full 21, some people got like one, and they're going back to make sure that each player receives that full 21, whether someone that didn't blitz at all or someone that partially got some of these milestones or someone that fully hit it. Everyone gets 21 is what I think is the best solution. Or maybe leaving this blitz up for a full 24 hours to let everybody take advantage of it instead of taking it down after 10 minutes. What would you like to see at this point?
I think one of two things, like restart the blitz and give it a small window where people can participate that didn't participate it. So basically with that, there's no payout, restart the whole blitz, so then it automatically takes into consideration. But the fact that they shut it down, I don't think they can do that. It's got to be something, and I think they've got a lot of little things going on right now, and I hope they have.
That's an understatement, my friend.
Yeah, no, it's compounded by a lot of things. We'll go over that. I'm sure.
We will. One of the best ways to get over all the compounded issues is boom, to have a Powers Core spending event. I know you saw this on Friday. As soon as this blog post came out, what was your initial thoughts as soon as you saw this? The community's mad. Let's have it spend more Power Cores. Awesome idea.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few problems here. Like, it's like, hey guys, we're going to introduce a method to have you spend your accumulated resources in game without telling you if it's something that's just going to give you a little bit, because people are spending Power Cores anyway. If the milestones reflect what you're already spending or should be spending, then it's no big deal. It's a freebie. But if it's like 1,000 a day, and you're like,
well, they did a Power Core spending event previously, and it was an alliance-wide spending event, and everybody in the alliance needed to participate. Do you think that's what they're doing here, or do you think this is just, I spend Power Cores on energy refreshes, I spend it on I don't know, whatever, but normally energy refreshes, those would count to these milestones, or it's towards a specific type of milestones like we had in a donation, like we have every day with the alliance donation to get that 1 silver promotion credit, or like they did with the previous event. Do you think it's gonna be something like that, or just whatever we spend in whatever game mode?
I would hope it was whatever game mode, because between buying gear for G15 and G14, or for specifically, like if they do this and it overlaps with a campaign event, then it's a no-brainer. It's actually good for everybody.
All right. Other than the Power Cores, what are you expecting from this event? Obviously, it's to celebrate the Year of the Ox, celebration of Chinese New Year. I'm not sure what they're going to do for Valentine's Day, by the way. Let me know in the comments what you think they're going to do for Valentine's Day to celebrate that. But what are your initial thoughts of this event other than the Power Core event? Is this going to be similar to that Covert Ops event where we just got to blitz and blitz and blitz, or do you think that they're kind of listening to the community and said, oh, they didn't like that event, maybe we shouldn't do something again that's so similar? I
hope they're listening.
Me too. I hope there are as well. Now, one thing they are listening is real-time arena. Oh, wait, my bad. No, they haven't listened to all the feedback about real-time arena. It is down right now. We do not have a real-time arena going on right now. And everybody's just doing their daily milestones, doing their 2 daily matches just so they hit it, and no other rewards, just the daily objectives that we're trying to hit. Beast is the next character coming in season 3. No word on when season 3 is happening though. Is this the road for Beast to become fountainable? Because Yellow Jacket became fountainable while his real-time arena and his battle pass was still on. Is Beast gonna become fountainable during this season?
So I don't know. I think this is a way to kind of give people an extra boost in shards, and so I think he probably winds up in a node somewhere. But I think like the battle passes, like it looks like it might just be a stopping, or well, the Mojo's Mayhem might be a stopping ground for this, right?
Yeah, I mean, why do you think they didn't start the season right away? I know they've had a couple days gaps, but it's at this point tomorrow's going to be a week that we haven't had real-time arena. Do you think they're going back and fixing some of the errors in the game mode, or some of the things that the community is not happy with, or was this another oversight on their part? Like, oh yeah, we forgot to start this up. Let's just hold off. Maybe maybe it's they have it planned for specific times of the month. I don't know what, but what is your head going on right now, and why it has not started yet?
So there's a new like hidden item in the shop that lets you spend. You're getting double the value of SPCs and like other orange mats, right? You're getting double the value for half, like, than you were before. So
wait. Yeah. I am not aware of this. What is going on with the item in the shop that's giving you double? So
if you look at the hidden SPC offers, it used to be 50 for, I think, like $20, and now it's 100 for 20. So they doubled the value. So the problem with the RTA battle pass was it was always a there's a lot of value in there, right? So yes. I think people just weren't clicking on that, and I think I don't know. I think they're trying to analyze some of the new metrics they have before they put it out. But there's always been a little bit of a delay between when it comes out, so I think it might be a marketing
thing. I was hoping that they were doing something to fix real-time arena a little bit, and we are going to talk about some solutions for that in this video, and a lot more tomorrow. We're going to talk a lot about more solutions for Marvel Strike Force fixing some of these things tomorrow. But one thing that was not fixed, is actually made worse in this update, is this Dark Dimension 4 Node 6 apparently got some pretty big buffs to it. Which does not help the players. It got harder. Instead of 2 black bolts, there are 4 black bolts. Apparently the focus went up, or the resistance went up crazy on these guys. What else changes do you know about that made this node a lot harder?
So the resistances, we talked about like Psylocke. You were cloning Symbiote Spider-Man to basically drop debuffs and control the node. So they kind of gave us characters that, I don't know, help counter debuffs. So
awesome. So nice, Scopely.
Get fixed, commanders.
Man, the timing of this is so awesome, too. I mean, buffing nodes, giving a power core spending event, real-time arena, just canceling it and having it do these stuff. It is so good in the temperature that the community is right now to do all of these things in conjunction with each other. What is going on? What is going on right now? Why are they not really responding and making these tone deaf moves?
So I think the biggest question we have to ask is, Cerebro hopped on your channel and he did an interview with you. And he's talking about like they were going to do some type of like road ahead, or like, you know, like the annual thing they do in February, like later in February. I think what's happening is we're just lacking kind of an overarching, like what do they have in store for us? I think we're definitely lacking that, and I'm kind of hoping we get some direction from that to get an idea of how they're trying to. I don't know. I don't know. There's just it feels like if you're gonna erode more trust, this is a way to erode more trust. And
they do that pretty well, right? I think things like this stealth buffs are so
and I
sneaky.
I feel like that's the number one problem, and we'll talk about that when we go forward. It's just the overall, trust.
That is an issue. Especially with this recent lack of communication, which we're going to get to, because they've been very, very silent recently. Let's move on. And that's another thing I want to talk about right now is kind of the state of the game. We know that there's a lot of things that need to improve. As we scroll through Reddit, a day in the life of the veteran players, there's not a lot of positive posts on here. Scopely, why so quiet? We are going to talk about that in a little bit. Every time a new character comes out, give everyone 10 red star orbs to celebrate the release. This one has a lot of upvotes. To all the whales who buy these awful deals, please stop for the sake of the game. Please stop. Over 600 upvotes on this one. It's time for a 1-star treatment. I mean, the community is hot right now. What is your current take on the state of the game? Are we at that point yet where we have to start using the boycott word, spending strikes, 1-star review bombing? I mean, is this game so bad that we need to that it's gotten to this point, or for me, I've been waiting for a response from Scopely, but we haven't had one in the past week since all of this heat started coming on, since this last update. So do you think we're at that point yet that we have to start organizing this thing? And I don't know, is the game that bad? Is it that bad that we need this right now?
I think we have to understand something. If it feels bad, it is bad, right? You can't tell somebody that they're not allowed to feel if something's bad, right? If it feels
perception is reality sometimes. I agree.
And so from that perspective, I think the overall problem we have is like an erosion of trust. And when I say erosion, it wasn't something that it just we felt misled or deceived or taken advantage of once. Erosion is a slow thing that happens over time, and so what happens is something like. We can start with the most recent one with the changes to Dark Dimension 4. We can go to like the and start like when it probably potentially really started happening, which was shortly after the Red Star rework came out after that Fix MSF movement. It was kind of like
the second rework.
Yeah, that Red Star rework and then they took out the promotion credits. Although I do feel like
the timing of that, let me push back on that a little, because they took out the promotion credits, but they also gave us a lot of silver promotion, gold promotion credits at that same time. So I don't think the community felt it at that time, but like the next month and the month after that, like this system sucks. But I think a lot of the community was moving on to other issues that were going on in the game and totally forgot about the rework and just screwing the promotion credits out of that in that second rework. So
it was always kind of like at the end of the day, they made a game to make money, but they also made a game so that people can have fun. Nobody gets into game development and says, I'm going to make a game just to make money. Do you want to know where those guys are? They're
making other games.
No, they're not making games anymore, right? They moved on, right? Because if you don't make a fun game, people don't play it, right? So I think I just want to go from that perspective. There's always going to be kind of this feeling when we have the free to play advertisement is how far does the pay to win factor drift away from the free to play factor? I think overall this game does probably hit the free to play friendly environment because I meet free to play players on my stream and conversations trying to learn how they navigate this. I feel like this game is probably a lot closer than it is to other games, and I could be wrong, and I hope you guys explain that in the comments, because I really do want to learn about that. But I feel like when we hit these level caps, when we hit all these different points, and when we're trying to build up our roster, when all this new content comes out, I think we always feel like it's just there's just too much to do and not enough to do it with. And part of the problem comes with making choices on like teams and characters. And so let's talk about Skillitary.
We will. We have a section for that. Let's hold off on Skillitary. I do want to talk about them. Want to talk about Shadowlands, because Skillitary was, I don't know. I don't know if misleading is too strong of a word.
It was a disappointment.
Disappointment is a good word.
Yeah. It was a disappointment, and so I think what we have to do is look at that as kind of like the baseline for how community feels. So the problem we have is as new teams come out and they're inserted, and I call it a PvP game mode, and it's basically you're positioning yourself against the roster of your opponent. Mm-hmm. And so you have to understand that you have to build up to a level. So the problem we have is there's two teams in the game that are probably defining the problem, and that's the Black Order and the Marauders. Mm-hmm. In order for us to counter them and to move them out of the meta, we have to justify the amount of resources in another team to punch across into them, right?
Yes.
So and so people are still investing in Marauders because there's such a good G15 choices there. People are still investing in Black Order because there's still good G15 choices there.
Yeah.
And so is that going to be the case with some new teams? I think we'll talk about that today when we talk about the X-Men. So
yeah, I mean, you look, the lack of gold stars is also an issue. And just kind of highlighting some of the issues that need to be changed that can reasonably be changed. I mean, we could want big overarching changes to this game, but I don't know if they have the man hours to make overarching changes. So talking about some things that can reasonably change. I mean, some issues that came to my mind: red stars. The whole system is broken. It's been bad from day one. It's not made the community happy from day one, and I think a lot of the red star issue is causing some of the problems today with this power creep, these bottlenecks, because they have to keep up with these high red star characters that add that big multiplier at those high levels. So we're fixing red stars, and I don't want to get into too many solutions right now. Like I said, we are doing like a roundtable discussion tomorrow and talking about solutions for that. But red star seems like a huge issue. Let me just get your take on red stars before I talk about some of the other issues that I think are that need to be solved in the game and can be solved relatively quickly.
Yeah, so I mean, if I was going to say something, I feel like just specifically, there needs to be a path for everyone to go through DD3 and DD4, and so the resources can't be gated behind the harder content, right?
Yeah.
So and I think that's the problem is everybody's like, I want to do Doom Raid, but I need G15 to do Doom Raid, and the only way that I can reliably get G15 right now is
a Doom Raid.
And I'm
You're in catch 22.
Yeah. And I
get there.
And I can go coast to coast into Doom Raid, spending cores and resources. And so the problem with that is if you're going to do it, it just doesn't feel as rewarding as it should. And they always miss that when these raids come. Like it's like when a new raid comes out, they kind of always miss the is it rewarded, right?
Yeah.
And so what kind of got me was, do you remember when U7 came out? They had the first strike event where they had like a Cabal versus Pants, and we had all that. Yeah. Well,
the time zone switching and all the controversy behind the scenes and all that stuff.
I mean, there's always going to be. Listen, more than you know, I've seen that firsthand. But when it comes down to the overall like challenge level, this one didn't have the first strike like hype, right? And so when U7 came out, there was like it was like this big buildup and this crescendo of they're here, let's go. And
what was our notice? We got a notice on a Friday. The update dropped on that following Tuesday, right? So we got not even a week notice that this hard raid is coming.
Well, I mean, so I'm gonna say this, right? It's the era of COVID, right? It's the era of COVID. It's they have the holidays. I think the communication going forward needs to be on point, addressing a lot of these issues, and I hope that it is. And I think we'll have to wait to see what this road ahead, kind of covers, and and I'm hoping I'm hoping it puts out a lot of these fires, because I
hope it does come out in February, because I don't know if you remember the Cerebro conversation. I think he said they're hoping to get it out in February. So. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this anger of the community is prompting them to work on that and get that set a little quicker, and hopefully we get that sooner rather than later. But when we did the interview, he said hoping for February. So I'm gonna answer your question. Is it time to like boycott or stop spending? I'll say this, man. If it ever gets to that point again, I'm gonna find a different game. I don't think we're there yet. I don't feel that way. I'm frustrated. But I feel like there's enough of a dialogue, and so I'm gonna reiterate something that I think is important. It's very simple. People easily find problems. Yeah.
Not everybody finds solutions, and part of it is coming up with a solution that is both reasonable and executable, and unfortunately, if you're dealing with a business, there's always going to be that element of what can they actually do without diminishing their bottom line profit margins. But I think it's important to understand this. Constructive feedback is our responsibility.
Yeah, I think constructive is an operative word, because I think there's some of the posts on Reddit is like, oh, this is bad, and there's other posts that are like, all right, this is how I would fix this is how I would fix this, and that is what we plan to do tomorrow. I don't want to cover too much in this video, but it definitely needs some fixes. I mean, other issues besides red stars, obviously this real-time arena is very frustrating to the community. I think that's when a lot of this frustrating started, when this real-time arena was brought into the game. There was a lot of issues with it, and they were not being addressed very quickly. And I think some of that has to do with playtesting. I don't remember any playtest for this real-time arena. No feedback was given. I mean, we got shown a few screenshots, a few things of real-time arena. I'm like, all right, from what I've seen, that looks pretty good, but no playtesting. So real-time arena, I think, is a huge issue as well. Bottlenecks, character release schedule, combined with the bottlenecks. I think the two of those go hand in hand. If they were releasing them very quickly, but we had less bottlenecks, I don't think it would be that bad. What do you, did I mention all of the issues, or are there other issues going on with Marvel Strike Force right now that I'm just not remembering off the top of my head?
Bugs.
Yes. Bugs. How can I forget the bugs? We keep getting them over and over.
Bugs.
And I think that's
You're right.
You're right. quality QA testing. We need more of that for this game.
And I think that's the problem, right? Is so we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's go.
Yeah, all right. Well, I do want to talk about this silence because since the update, we've had a few messages from Cerebro, Zeke's on Reddit in response to some of the heat from the community, but nothing big, nothing official. What do you think they're so silent? Do you think they're formulating the response, getting good response, so boom, everything gets solved? I mean, honestly, I was expecting some type of, maybe not something major, but at least addressing some of the issues in that Friday blog post. We didn't get much talking about some of these new issues, the difficulty, the doom rate, things like that, the red stars, real-time Arita. So why do you think they're been so silent recently, or in the past week or so?
So I think the problem we have is going to be twofold, right? First is there's a lot of problems and a lot of things that they're identifying, and they're probably skimming through all the things they think are hot points for the community, trying to address them as an individual. And the other thing is, I think people are gonna be, held. If they say something, they're going to be held accountable for what they say at a much higher level than they ever been. So for me, it's when you speak, it better be significant.
My thinking is, if they want to formulate, make sure that they're real accurate with their wording. I'm thinking Cerebro is going to all the department heads, seeing what they have on schedule next 3 months, next 6 months, so that he can accurately represent that, or at least that's what I'm hoping in my mind. Yeah. Personally, I would have liked to see, hey, let me formulate a response to this. I know the community's hot. Let me go, and just something like that. Just a little blurb here. We have a roadmap coming in time, or some kind of response to that is what I would have liked to see. Why haven't we gotten something little? Just like, hey, I know you're introduced. We're going to formulate a response to all these. Or is the community not organized enough to get that to prompt that from Scopely?
So I think there's been a lot of little responses to the Reddit threads. Like you'll see, like
I saw one post that had some responses from Cerebro, but other than that, not much.
So you got to think about it. For me, I think when we were doing the fix MSF and they went silent, I think it was because there's a lot of moving parts, right? Mm-hmm. And so I feel like that's when they're taking it and they're communicating it with the team and trying to come up with a unified voice and a unified message. So I think sometimes silence is a good thing, right? Okay. No news is good news, right? So sometimes. Well, I mean, I think we're taking it for this point that they're ignoring it. Well, it feels bad, man, right? But we've got to lead up into Friday's blog post, and so there's nothing in Friday's blog post. I think we can probably go, what? Where are you? But I mean, there's a normal cadence of communication that we've come to expect.
Okay, and that is just too soon to get any kind of real communication to get the proper responses from them.
I think they have to, because of trust, they have to measure their words very carefully. So
I agree.
I'm hoping they do it right.
Measuring their words very carefully. I think that's a big thing. I think that they're trying to do. All right, but let's not go off on all the bad things that are going on in the game. Let's talk about one of the good things that they've done. I think that's got glossed over a lot. This was very, very positive, but in the wake of the update coming, and not a very positive update, I guess. Looking back on it, a lot of community missed this. Boom, watch Remanx shake it, or nobody missed it, but not getting as much attention. We get to choose. And it's already started. Ghost or Cull Obsidian, 100 shards. You could do it in whatever 25 shard increments you want because of the orb that is in the store. I think this is a very good thing. What do you think is it an individual basis on whether they should choose, or the community should choose Cull or Ghost, or is there one that you prefer over the other for a majority of the player base?
So I thought about this a lot. I feel like if you don't have Maw, don't bother with Cull right now. Ghost is going to be impactful in a lot of different game modes, and I'll say this right now: this is feedback-wise, this is a lot of free-to-play's first chance to get a first-pass character for Legendary with the Ghost. So that definitely had an impact on it. But I think it's something you have to take a look at your roster and say, do I need Cull? Is Ghost going to make a significant contribution on my team through whatever levels I'm gaining on her? And am I going to, unlock Jubilee as a result?
Yeah.
If you have Maw and you don't have Cull leveled up significantly, he's probably one of the highest functioning teams. However, check this out. You got to choose which portion of them you got, whether it was 25, 50, 75, or the full 100. That was something that was feedback from Yags, and the fact that the company did this in a brand new way and addressed this should give us a little bit of insight that they do want to kind of help understand the community concerns, because those are both money makers, the legendary element and the gated legendary element, and then the obscurity of Cull Obsidian. This was good.
Yeah, I mean, it's things like this that make me think a lot of the issues in the game aren't malicious. They're just oversight and not enough time to think of all the issues. And but the playtesting should be done a little more. But yeah, I don't think they're malicious with
I just that DD4 node change.
I like the hope that they're not malicious. The DD4, I don't know what the reasoning of the DD4 thing is. That's total crap. But I like the hope that they're not malicious with what they're doing.
I almost fell out of my chair watching that one. Don't.
All right, but let's move on. Another good thing. I think the community is pretty happy about Jubilee. Obviously, with legendary characters, not everybody is totally happy when they come out. But as we scroll down, try to find her. Let me just go to the Astonishing X-Men. But I mean, I think this is a good team. I think she's a good character. I mean, maybe the choice of her being a legendary is a little controversial, but what are your thoughts on Jubilee as you unlocked her last night and were playing with this team?
They were really good. They were able to auto all of U7 on .5 at nearly 2/3 or less of my power level I have for my symbiotes. So that should tell you something. They're definitely designed for that, for the old content, which we said was Wakanda when they came out. They were able to do the U6, right? And then U7 came out, and we were like, oh nope, not for them. So we'll have to see how they do in the Doom Raid. They just feel good. They do a ton of damage. They get a lot of cool bonuses. They're going to be a good war team, offensive team. If you have any type of summon or any type of character that has lower hit points, right? They're going to get fed up, and they're just they're another Asgard counter on top of everything else that they can counter, including like Sinister Six really well, and so I'm really like I think the whole Jubilee controversy I think was unfounded. I'm gonna say this. I feel like people look at the 90s X-Men cartoon and they think that's the only time she's been featured. There is a whole 30 years of content that has been posted.
Man, it has been 30 years since the 90s. It just clicked on me now. And I was like, oh man, I feel so old.
But that's the thing, right? It's been 30 years since the 90s cartoons, right? And so we have to look at what she's done. She's led multiple teams. She's been the heart and soul of the X-Men in a way. And more importantly, through my adult eyes, I look back at the 90s X-Men and I see her as the vehicle for the audience to feel what the X-Men were about. And even then, it becomes a lot of the series was about her personal growth, starting out as this, like shy, help me, to eventually becoming, a valued member of the team that is performing on her own. And most recently in comics, she's been featured with the ability to basically split atoms at the atomic level and potentially have more power than any mutant on the planet. And she just doesn't use it because of her heart, right? So
she's Omega level, right? Am I wrong on?
I'll say one thing that always varies on who writes the stories, but yes, okay. she has Omega level when it comes down to her ability to manipulate energy.
Yeah, I think for myself, before I found out about all this other stuff, and with a lot of the community, to just remember her from the 90s cartoon and this. Whiny little girl that always needs to be saved instead of the grown-up version of Jubilee that is kind of leading the X-Men team.
stop. I'm going to say this.
Yes.
If you guys watched the movie that was called, what was it called? The Wolverine, not the Wolverine. It was the other one where where we saw
the one in Japan.
No, the one with Wade Wilson introduced as the first.
The first one, like Wolverine First Class or something.
Whatever it was. If that was your first introduction and your only introduction to Deadpool and Wade Wilson, well, you think he was pretty terrible too. Thank goodness they got it right. But that's the point, right? Stop living in the past.
That's a good analogy. That's a good analogy with Deadpool. All right, but let's and quick thoughts on her unlock before we go into a little more detail on this team here.
So I mean I felt like it felt a little bit more challenging. I had a 7-star unlock, so the 7-star I was able to hit auto, but I did lose characters, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? It felt a little bit more challenging, but I think that just scales with level, and I think we have to see that progress. Otherwise, why build up characters? You know, I mean, so.
They said this was the most challenging legendary event to date.
Did you feel that way?
I autoed level 5 and level 6. I'm not at level 7 yet, but it was full auto. So I don't know. Well, I built up my Pimtech team also. I'm not trying to do with like the minimum trying team, and I've been using Ghost and DD4, so Ghost is pretty beefy as well. So I don't know. I built them up anyway, not just for this event.
Well,
so
remember,
it's hard for me to tell.
You got 5 days to do this legendary event, and you have some more time to kind of figure out, you know, how to bring up a team. I'm curious to see what the minimum threshold was for a lot of people to get through this.
If you guys know what is the minimum team that anybody used to unlock the 5, 6, or 7-star version of Jubilee, let me know in the comments or reach out to me on Discord. But I do want to talk about the team itself, the Axemen. You already started talking about them, their use. You've done a video on. I mean, everybody's done a video on them already. How good are these guys though?
They feel really good. I mean, I think they have a ton of potential. The problem we have is going to be bringing up all these mutants together to kind of to encounter 3 nodes in the Doom raid, and I think that's the problem. But that may not be their only use. We're talking about like the .3 Greek raid where X-Men is featured at the end of the category, because they are all X-Men as well, right? Yeah. So they all have that tag for trait, so they can be utilized and slotted into these raids.
What about other game modes? Have you tried them in other game modes?
Oh, yeah. So okay. war offense, potentially war defense. With the sped up. You know that they Tawna had them beat Black Order in RTA. Real time.
Okay, even powered.
Even powered. So
nice. Okay.
So it was definitely interesting. That we saw them built up, and
so even without raid bonuses, they still have some value. I like it.
Yeah, so nice. it was definitely interesting to see if they get that early kill, they can really swing the fight into their advantage.
All right, and have you tried any war teams? And I guess even power they could go against Black Order. What do you think most people are going to be using them for right now in war? Offense, defense? Where are you leaning? Where's your head leaning right now?
If you have the whole team, I would probably use them on offense and target probably Marauders. But if you have even level, but if you really want to and you need an extra team, you can use them against Asgardians and then just wreck them. I mean, just even the hybrid teams, they have a lot of tools out there. So and like I said, a Sinister 6 with high potential because of the way that they work. You know, there's unavoidable damage from Jubilee. Kind of hits that window of Doc Ock and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Doc Ock is rough, but in other words, you're saying that there's more value to this team than just Dark Dimension or just the raids. They have some viability in other game modes, and so not just building this for the Doom raids.
Yeah, and I'm going to be taking Jubilee into Dark Dimension 4 probably by the end of the week here.
Okay, I'm interested to see how she performs there. So, waiting for your video on that. But let's talk about Iso-8 classes, because I think this has been a very controversial thing in the community. Not controversial like people are angry, but people not agreeing on one true class, and I think that's a good thing, because there's a lot of lot of different theories on what is the best Iso-8 class for these guys. This is what I have right now on them. I don't know if this is the best class. A lot of strikers. We have a raider, we have a healer. I think I need more skirmishers on this team from what I'm hearing in the community. What are your thoughts right now on the best Iso-8 classes with what your testing has been revealed for these astonishing X-Men?
All right, so despite the fact that Jubilee does have a blind on her basic, I feel like we're leaning towards her being a skirmisher, and Iceman being the skirmisher, Kitty Pryde and Bishop being the strikers because of the ability to remove debuffs, and Beast staying a healer. I think what that does is it gives kind of a catch-all to the mechanism, and it lets them be a lot more flexible. I'm going to be testing them in a couple of different environments in a couple different modes than we're going to see. So I think we'll go from there.
So basically what you're saying is I need to switch two classes. I need to switch my Jubilee and Iceman both to skirmisher, and this team will be performing better for me.
So yeah, especially skirmisher and Iceman at level 5. Now remember, it's because what they called assist, they're going to do a triple tap, and so you're going to get a lot more damage potential out of like an offense up Bishop, and that's the thing is Jubilee also has, so there's a lot of little testing I haven't done, but I think as a catch-all for now, I think we go skirmisher on Iceman and Jubilee, striker on Kitty Pryde and Bishop, and I think Beast with his speed bar fill is actually really good.
All right, so that's I'm going to switch it as soon as they have the ions to do that, because that sounds very logical. I want to test it myself, and I guess I think it's a good thing though that the community doesn't fully agree on one standard choice. People are using different ISO classes on this team. I like it.
That's what makes this. That's what makes I think ISO such a great success, is the fact that there isn't always one answer.
Yeah, and imagine that they play tested something, it wasn't good. They placed it again, and there was more feedback, and it came out, and it's a good thing in a game. What a crazy concept with this Iso-8.
Yeah.
I only wish I did that with Real Time Arena, but yeah, I think it's a good team, and it gives us more of this theory crafting, like a lot of players like to do. So that is a good thing. Now, very questionable thing right here is this next team that is coming up after this team, and these Shadowland characters. We don't even have 2 characters in the game yet. We have the reworks of these characters. We have White Tiger. We have Moon Knight. And people are saying this is looking better than Skillitary, but is this going to be Skillitary 2.0 and the letdown based on some of the footage that we saw of them going even powered against Black Order and Marauders, or are they going to live up to the hype? What are your take right now from what you've seen?
So I'm going to go with what we were told, is that there is a very specific desire to make this be a significant war offense team, right? A significant, right? That was the word. That was the language they used, and I don't think that the footage we had was there other than just to kind of show us the damage window. And I call it damage window because you got to kind of look at like at even levels and how to scale that, because the values weren't there, because I don't think that was important. It was Night Nurse responding and getting enough turns to heal if somebody was taken low, and was Daredevil attacking in the window to destroy a character. And so what they could do is make minor tweaks in the back end of stats or ability levels to really kind of address, will they beat these characters at even level? And so I think before people start investing in these characters, although I think Night Nurse got a pretty significant rework. I mean, she's a pretty cool character there, and probably among the best reworks we've had in the game. I just don't know if everybody can justify working on it in our current environment of having our current bottlenecked environment. And I think that's more to do with the bottlenecks that we're facing than it does to do with the quality of the teams. If you were able to bring up skill military, I think they still fell a little bit short, which is why there's some concerns about this too.
Right, and I think the general consensus is this is going to be a better team than a military skill team. Is that what you're leaning towards as well? I mean, what went wrong with military skill, and what is there anything different with this team?
I think you're gonna always face this factor, right? Is we're looking at investment levels, and I think this is we're almost at a year mark when we've seen, these characters come into the game. They have been significant in DD4. They're significant in DD3. They were a target for a lot of gold promotion upgrades and silver promotion upgrades, with specifically the Black Order. So, and the same thing with Sinister, right? And Emma. I mean, they just felt really worthwhile. So, I don't know that we're going to. So let's take a team like X-Force. Mm-hmm. How does your X-Force look? Because I think
they could be stronger, but they do decent. They do some decent punch ups.
And they win against what teams?
I usually use them against Mercs. I'm usually looking for a decent Merc matchup with them.
Okay. Have you ever had them beat Marauders or any other teams?
Not Marauders, because I don't think I've tried them against Marauders, but they're too low. They're like 380 or something like that, and most of the Marauders I face are way higher than that. So I don't even try them at that level.
And there's the answer, right? So how much can they punch up against a team that's been meta for so long? And so you take a team like X-Force, who's still good, who still fits in the windows where we want them to work, but maybe they just didn't. They don't beat. So I've got like a 750k war buffed X-Force team. Where I live, I need a team like that to be able to hit some of these 920k Marauders, right? So the question is, but that's a similar level investment with T4s. Obviously G15 is being amplified by the medbay buff. There's a lot of little factors in this, which means that for you, the player, it's not me, Valley here. This is for everybody in the audience. Mm-hmm. You have to make the determination based on what you need them to work on. And so if you're building up a team like Shadowland and you want them to beat Marauders, you're gonna have to put G13, G14 resources on them to give them any hope of doing so.
And that comes back to the bottlenecks and the release timing and all that stuff. And this brings up another issue. And we're breaking up teams. I mean, the defenders are slowly getting taken away. I mean, what
the defenders? They're at least they're not the Guardians. That's all I'll say.
And hand got broken up as well with this. I mean, it's so horrible. But anyway, we did get the kits of Moon Knight and White Tiger early last week, and in the blog post we got the kit for White Tiger. Now, when we got those kits initially, it was with the caveat that there may be some changes. Now in the blog post, the kit to White Tiger looked exactly the same as what we got. So do you think this was a success of their testing, or do you think the kits were final? They just didn't know the back end stats of the damage, health, so on and so on. What is this telling you with this White Tiger kit released exactely like we got it?
I think they got it close enough. I think they're probably. I think there's still a chance they may even revisit it down the road. Because that commitment is felt significant, right? That they said that, but before it came out, that they want this team to work well, and there's a reason why they're not in the game yet, right? They're not in the game files.
Yeah. Because they're not finished. I mean, is there any more shadiness with that? I know a lot of community is thinking, oh, that's so shady that they're not releasing the full kits. Is there any malice with that, or are they really just trying to tweak this so this is a strong war offense team and not super overpowered?
I think there's probably twofold. I think sometimes having some things coming visible in a patch probably let them, people see what they were and plan on T4s around them, and so there's probably twofold to that. Probably something that's in it for them and something that's in it for the players. So I'll abstain from that conversation because I don't think it's. Yeah.
I know, I'm asking you some hard questions. You can abstain if you want.
Yeah.
Fury, we were wondering, is anybody else going to get the legendary treatment? And it was revealed in last week's blog post that Nick Fury is getting that Iron Man treatment, becoming permanent. And I think this is the character that needed to become permanent. Star-Lord probably a little more useful for newer players, but Fury, especially with this horrible Kree minion unlock, not even Kree minions to unlock him. I think this lets players farm those Kree minions as soon as or as late as they want. They could unlock Fury as soon as they get those. They could do that background farming for the Kree minions. I think this is a good thing. What does this mean long term, though? Is this a pattern? I know they said they're considering making more legendary events farmable on a long-term basis than events in the future, but do you expect Star-Lord and Magneto and these other older legendaries to be coming in this permanent section as we get more legendaries, or is that just they're going to removing them? Yes, more characters, Star-Lord, Magneto in the future.
I feel like over time that they can evaluate characters on a need basis, right? Yeah. You know, the calendar can get really full. It's like permission to buzz the tower. No, Maverick, the pattern is full, right? So the idea behind this is the chasing Fury. I kind of really would say if I was going to wish for one thing is over time they reduce the star unlock requirement. Like, so the requirement goes down, like it's like less than the star unlock requirement. Because I think that'd be good when they become permanent, 4-star unlocks instead of 5, or even 3. Because let's talk about this, right? It's a catch-up mechanic. It's like if I'm a new player starting this game, it's something I'm going to be focusing on this week. Is how do I catch up? And what does a player who's caught up to the Krakens look like? And how does it feel?
Yeah. Well, they can do a lot of interesting things, and I guess we gotta wait for the blog post, the Road Ahead blog post, to find out what they have planned. But I do want to discuss something that has some spoilers. So, guys, spoiler alert: we're going to discuss WandaVision all the way up until episode 5. So, if you have not seen episode 5 up until episode 5, then skip to the next section. Go. There's timestamps in the description, and if you're on the podcast, just skip ahead a little bit. But all right, let's talk about WandaVision now that I've got the spoiler warning alert. Close your ears, guys, if you have not seen it. But up until episode 5, we got some pretty good reveals in episode 5, or reveal in episode 5 of another character. And since I did a spoiler warning, Quicksilver. Do you think he's coming to Marvel Strike Force because of WandaVision, or we haven't seen anything we're in episode 5 and WandaVision is not even going to be touched by MSF?
So I feel like there's going to be 2 other characters that are just babies right now in the universe that might be coming to the game before we see Quicksilver.
Agatha?
No.
Mephisto?
No.
Who?
Speed and Wiccan.
Oh, yes. How could I forget about them? You think they're coming? Maybe are they X Factor? Would that make sense for X Factor?
So they're
finish up that team.
They're Young Avengers.
Okay, so we only need one. We're going to have an extra one. I guess that's not a bad problem, right?
Yeah. Sorry. Somebody's not going to make the cut there, and we'll have to see who it will be.
Squirrel Girl.
No. So I think you got to realize that, like when they're like balancing out teams, they're giving us some choices. Look at Sinister Six, right? Yeah. So, while probably a clear winner emerges, it has a lot to do with your roster and stuff like that. So I think there's definitely some characters. There's a lot of characters. Agatha, Harkness. There's definitely Mephisto. There's a lot of
Monica Rambeau is in there.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau.
And she was actually Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers were. Just throwing that out there.
There's gonna be some pretty cool things, and I think we will see what happens over time.
All right, and what are you expecting to happen with Marvel Strike Force? Do you think the community gets so upset that this goes into full boycott mode and we start looking for other games to play, or do you think that Scopely is going to right this ship again, which they have done so many times in the past?
Well, let's talk, right? I mean, obviously, I think the people who are closest to the community care. I don't think. I mean, we can talk about Cerebro and Zeke's interaction with the community. I think it's second to none. I think we take that for granted every day. Yeah. So I hope they get it right, but I hope it, and I hope it's fast enough for the community to be able to kind of understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. However, Scopely, it was burnt down in 3.
Oh my goodness.
So
I've never heard that flip side of that before. This is very, very true. I like that.
That's a Remanxism right there. There you go.
Oh my goodness, that's good. I like it. I like it. Very true.
And
as well.
there with his fiddle watching it burn.
Other than your name being immortalized in the game, any new rumors that you are hearing? I've been very light on the rumor front and people telling me things and hearing things. Are you getting a lot of rumors, or is it just light now and it's just a climate of the game?
There's a lot of speculation out there. I think a lot of it probably. I think why our sources are kind of buttoned up right now is because I think there's probably they probably want to have a unified front with the messages that they have in coming forward. So to build hype through the right channels, right? And the channels that are going to have the highest visibility, so that there's positivity and some good things coming out.
Gotcha. And speaking of building hype, we have something that we're doing. Let me sit up straight so I align with your head. I'm like way low. All right. But speaking of some building some hype, we are doing a roundtable tomorrow. You, me, and OMG, we are discussing some different elements of this game and ways that we can fix that, and some things that are popping into our head. And yes, would like to get feedback from you guys. So tomorrow on your channel, OMG channel, and my channel, we're discussing a different element of the game that could be fixed. So that is, I think that'll be helpful, and hopefully that gets back to Scopely and this does some good in making the game better for everybody. Anything else that you have coming up that you want to hype? I know you're doing a lot of stuff on stream and doing a lot of events. That was awesome with the Jubilee, and I love those glasses, dude.
We emptied out the swear jar. When we're filling it back up, we gave away.
Hold on. How much did that get up to? Last, it was in the high 500s.
It was over that. It wound up being well over
my goodness, you swore over 500 times in a week. What is going on in the stream, dude?
So So
how do you swear that much?
You'd be surprised. So I just that's just read Reddit for a day, you'll swear. No, but I mean realistically, we used it to give away a ton of fun stuff for the community. We wound up giving away over 20 Bishop. We actually had
nice.
Worldwide Nutrition sponsored a couple of giveaways on I know your channel and my channel as well. So really cool stuff. Really cool stuff going on, and really I think important.
And fitness, you have another resolution, not just swearing, right? This year.
Yeah.
Oh, the guns are coming back. The guns are getting back, baby.
I'm down quite a bit of weight here, and I'm hoping to keep it off.
I hope it's all fat and not muscle, because those of you that don't know, Remanx has some giant arms, dude. His arms are like my legs, but it's muscles. It's big.
We're gonna jeez, buddy.
I'm not editing that out either.
Clip that. That's
no, I'm not editing that. That came out wrong, but I'm not editing that either. All right. But tell everyone where you can find you, my friend.
We're over at Twitch, Remanx. You're going to see it on YouTube and coming soon to Facebook.
Ooh, nice. Well, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, we do this every single week, guys. Your Marvel Strike Force weekly news upgrade. And if you want to check it out on a weekly basis, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Check out some of my other videos before you go. I am on social media. And Remanx, before you go, my brother, as usual, give me that fist bump. There it is. Oh, yeah. Remanx and ValleyFlyin out. Have a good week, guys.